May the Lord give this council the wisdom, discernment and courage to serve the community. Grant also that we may act compassionately and in integrity in the best interest of this shire. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. I would like to show respect and acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land and elders past, present and future on which this meeting takes place. Thank you, councillors. Okay, councillors, we'll move on to application for attending meeting by video link.
Neil, Mr. Mayor.
Neil, apologies, application for leave of absence.
Yeah, so Councillor Flaherty is still on approved leave and Councillor McPhee has applied for leave tonight.
Move Councillor Williamson, second Councillor Campbell. All in favour? Against? Carried. Councillors, move over to page 10. We've got the election of the mayor and the deputy mayor. So we'll go to the election of the mayor is 09.1. Someone like to move? Move Councillor Campbell, second Councillor Williamson. All in favour? Against? Carried. We move over to page 19, which is the election of the deputy mayor. Someone like to move? We move Councillor Clout, second Councillor Campbell. All in favour? Against? Carried. Mr. GM, I will leave the seat and leave you with. Thank you.
Very well, Councillor. Councillors, as the returning officer, I'll call first of all for nominations for the position of mayor. I do have one nomination so far. Are there any further nominations for the position of mayor? Okay, the nomination I have before me is duly signed by councillors Ron Campbell, Adam Williamson, Taya Clout and Belinda McKenzie, nominating Councillor Collison for the position of mayor. Councillor Collison has accepted the nomination. Given that there's no other nominations, I duly declare Councillor Collison as the mayor for the remainder of this council term. Congratulations, Councillor. Councillors, I move now to the election of deputy mayor. I do have one nomination form. Do I have any further nominations? The nomination form I do have before me has been duly signed by Councillor Campbell and Councillor Clout and Councillor McKenzie, nominating Councillor Burns. Councillor Burns has consented to being nominated. Given I don't have any other nominations before me, I duly declare Councillor Burns as deputy mayor for the remainder of this council term. My role as returning officer is done. Mr. Mayor, you can return.
Thank you, Mr. GM, and thank you, councillors, for putting your trust in me to continue on as the mayor for the next 12 months. And congratulations to Councillor Burns. It's not possible to feel proud of what we're doing without the support of you, councillors. And I thank you all very much for your support for the last couple of years, and looking forward to continuing on for the next 12 months until the elections next year. So thank you all very much. Okay. Public participation. Mr. GM.
Yeah, so Mr. Mayor, we do have one public participant tonight. It's the presentation from the Scone Neighbourhood Resource Centre.
Okay. Lee, could you take the floor, please? We'll give you the 4 minutes and then the warning of 5. If you need extra time, I'm sure we can work that out.
Just to let you know, I don't think the photos will be in sync, so whatever I'm saying probably won't marry up with that, but that's okay. In December 2022, SNRC moved from one side of the building to the entire building at 89 Kelly Street, so we now have the full facility. The venue has enabled the service to offer many more exciting activities and expand on existing programs to meet the needs of our community. That's one of our volunteers. Markets, training, ticketing and secretary support is offering the entire community as an option, but we also do things like climbing walls, art sessions, hospitality and construction training is provided for our young people and anyone that would like to attend our new skill training programs. The Morning Bites breakfast van sits proudly at the front of our venue where volunteers open it every school morning and prepare and serve breakfast to children on their way to school. The menu ranges from cheese toasty to granola cups to warm Milo to bacon and egg rolls, waffles and hash browns. Although we've just had some news that this may not be as adventurous next year due to a cutback from the organisation where we get a lot of our food. So lots of the fresh food and homemade muffins to take home for later in the day. So kids get an option if they do not have anything in their school bag that they can take things along that they can utilise later on through the day and have lunch. We have visits from schools on walk to school days. We have visits from the Easter Bunny when he attends as our breakfast van and the kids love it and come along. Last financial year, the volunteers saw the beautiful faces of 2,233 children as they walked to school for breakfast. Families from our community can access a range of support material, access blankets, food. Children have access to shoes. We can work with agencies to access clothing. And staff work with women experience domestic violence as well as individuals with mental health and addictions. SNRC have networks to ensure referrals are made to support any person that we cannot assist through our lack of resources. And that's us utilising the garden for Christmas last year. Our community pantry is supported by local business and community. SNRC has seen an extraordinary increase in demand for food relief. This includes a new demographic group that we have never seen before and have never asked for food assistance before. And this problem will not be fixed overnight. With increased bills, food, interest rates is placing a bigger demand on the weekly income. A small grant through the Stronger Communities grants will purchase a greenhouse and tank and pump, and we hope to be able to provide some fresh food options to the people accessing food support. That's in conjunction with our rabbits and possums that are taking our food at the moment. So we'll have to watch that. Harmony Day is a celebration that recognises our diversity and brings together Australians from different backgrounds. It was so good to welcome the event back with African drumming and lots of food from many cultures for the people that attended. We're lucky to live in a multicultural shire as we get to enjoy all of these things. Christmas in the Park was back in 2022 and we're currently working towards a bigger event on the 2nd of December this year. Christmas is a great time of the year for most people, but not everyone feels that way, and that's for many reasons. SNRs try to encourage all the community to be a part of this event with a donation for entry and unlimited rides for only $5, free music and fireworks. With the VIC relocating to the Warbird Museum, the SNRC have become a white eye and have assisted 576 travellers with inquiries. Funding from the Department of Justice is to support targeted early intervention families and children, with many programs aiming to support this target group. This year, we have completed art workshops, rock climbing, movie nights, skincare workshops, worked in partnership to have candlelight vigils, colour fun runs, and we are involved with NAIDOC and reconciliation activities. Firstly, we will continue to help those that are struggling at this time in their lives through our food program, as I said. Funds from the Department of Community and Justice assist the service, and we are fortunate to be assisted by council, local business and the community to be able to cover the wide range of programs and services. SNRC generate income in many ways: the cafe, the hiring of equipment, such as a movie screen, cool room and chairs, administration services and our training. Outreach organisations service the local community from our meeting room space and includes counsellors. At 5.
Lee, you still got a bit to go. I can get someone to move that we
I'll
can
move.
extension.
There's too many
Second,
extensions.
councillor Burns, all in favour? Against? Carry on.
Councillors. Homeless support services, hearing, physio, job networks, Centrelink and mentoring programs. The Connecting Communities Day has grown considerably since our first event. It is difficult for people to arrive at these events, but through perseverance, we have made it very inclusive and open. There's information for everyone, as well as haircuts, physio, podiatry and massage, free to anyone that needs them. A huge plus was being able to host the event at our venue. We continue to improve the venue at 89 Kelly Street with artwork and a recent blue-tongue lizard painted on the end wall by Dan Bianco. I think that came up before. Thanks to CAS, Grant, FRRR, Lions Club, all of them have helped with those, with that funding. Funding for new bathrooms will commence in April. Solar panels were placed on the roof and a battery on the building. There are 4 part-time positions at our centre and we have approximately 30 volunteers. The centre is managed by a volunteer management committee. The long term of what we do is to improve the lives of our residents and release the burden on our community. We'll continue to do this through our programs outlined, like I just said, in the next year, and add any others that will get identified by the community or through other groups. SNRC would like to thank council for its ongoing support. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. I'll just make a comment. Congratulations to you and your staff. It's a great service for our community, and I know you put a lot of work into it, and your heart's certainly in it. Looking at your finances, I say it's still tough, but it is, the cafe has certainly helped you along the way. We are certainly proud as a council to support you. I know you wish you'd like to have more, but I think it's good that we're all working together. So councillors, any more questions to Lee? No, all good. Thanks, Lee. Okay, councillors, we'll move on to confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 28th of August. Going to move her. Councillor Williamson, moved with a small amendment.
Yeah, move with a small amendment, please, Mr. Mayor. Just on CR 8.1, I voted against the format, preferring an alternate suggested format. It shows that it was unanimous. If we could make that change, please.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. We've got a seconder. Councillor Clout. Any more questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Disclosure of interest, Mr. GM.
Nil received, Mr. Mayor.
Nil received.
The resolution was only to note your report, councillor, so
Yeah,
I don't believe there's a conflict.
Yep. Okay, councillor, to page 22, recognition of length of service for Robin Orman and David Norval. Someone like to move? Move, Councillor Burns. Second, Councillor McKenzie. Oh, you just do, sorry. So no, take that away, please. I'll move it myself. Robin, thank you. Okay, councillors. We've got Robin Orman and David Norval have both reached 20 years of service this year. Robin's journey began with council in September 2003, and since then she has tirelessly devoted herself to the needs of the Murrundi community and its visitors in her role at the Visitors Information Centre. Her dedication has not only made Murrundi a welcoming place for tourism, but has also created a sense of belonging and support for the residents. Robin has also been an advocate for the community's well-being. Her contributions go beyond her job description, as she actively participates in various initiatives that have enriched the lives of those around her. Robin is an inspiration to all, and her legacy will undoubtedly continue to shape the community for years to come. Congratulations, Robin. David commenced permanently with the council as a field officer in April 2003, after working casually on the road construction and maintenance in 2001 and 2002. Some of the jobs David carried out include traffic control, driving the tar truck, roller operations, MR driving, later getting HR licence and helping with town maintenance under the Parks and Gardens section, known now as Parks and Facilities, where he later moved to full-time, also working with the tar crew and sign truck, as well as operating the street sweeper. David is still working in the Parks and Facilities and is mainly responsible for maintaining the parks, cemeteries, gardens,
passive areas, however, still helps out in other areas and sections of the council. Congratulations to both David and Robin on your successful career so far and your achievements over the 20 years. Councillors, put your hands together for both, please.
Thank you, councillor. Seeing they were both unavailable to come tonight, I will try and catch up with them both over the next day or two. Thank you. We'll move over to page 23. Is the Environmental and Community Services Committee. I think we run all these separately. So dot point one, councillors. Move councillor Watts, second councillor Campbell. Any questions, comment? All in favour? Show of hands. Motion is carried. Dot point two. Move councillor Watts, second councillor Clout. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Dot point three. Move councillor Watts, second councillor Campbell. Move second councillor Campbell. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Dot point four, there's A, B, C, D, parts of the recommendation. Mover, councillor Watts, second councillor Williamson. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 34, the Infrastructure Services Committee. Move councillor Campbell, second. Councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 38 is the Corporate Services Committee. Got a mover by councillor Williamson, second councillor Mackenzie. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 42 is the Merriwa Age Hostel Committee. Got a mover, councillor Campbell, second councillor Watts. Questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Campbell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I just note that the supervisor, general manager there has resigned. I'm just wondering whether that council would write a letter thanking her. I think I'm just not sure of the years, but I know it's been a long time. And I have known Sue for since after I came to Merriwa, and to see how that she has endeavoured to equip herself with the changes that had to be met, I think has been outstanding for a person that's come from just maybe should I say just a lower background to where she is today and what she has tried to do, and it's been no mean feat. I know there was a motion moved, thank her from the committee, but I believe that it would be nice if the council was to recognise what she has done and endeavour to meet the new requirements of the hostel.
Thank you, councillor Campbell. I'm sure we can do that, Mr. General Manager.
Mr. Mayor, we can write a letter. The supervisor doesn't finish until the end of the year. She's retiring, so there's plenty of time for us to do that.
Thank you. No other comments? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 46 is the Community Advisory Committee of Merriwa District. We've got a mover, councillor Campbell, second, councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion?
Make one, Mr. Mayor. I'm fully supportive of this Merriwa CAC. Well done. It's a great thing that you're doing out there, but I really stress that the Cassless District Development Group be made aware that any walking track will incur costs from the places that it actually goes past. So what we really need them to be aware of it from the start. It can't just all of a sudden turn up later and they want us to pay for the whole thing, because that's not how it works.
Thank you, councillor Burns. Councillor Campbell, you comment?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, my colleague, councillor Burns, for your comment. I would just like to ask, in the minutes, there has been a number of actions, etc., and I'm just wondering whether Rag, you might be able to just fill us in on some of the things, that particular town walk that they're speaking about. I'm wondering how can we make that happen at the least possible cost, and what responsibilities we can put on and help from the Cassler's community. That's one thing, if I may, and also the Mary War footpath taps access water. I did have a discussion with both Di's clothing patch, and they're very happy to keep the street clean, but from the back of their shop where she has to carry is about 40 odd meters, and the same thing is for the bakery. I had a discussion with Mary Ann, and yes, they're quite happy to do it, but it's a bit impractical. And I'm just wondering, could you give us an update so that they know where we're up to with those two things, please?
Thank you, Councillor Ron, through your chair. So there's a couple of questions here. I will start with the first one regarding the walking track in Cassler's. So the walking track, there's a few options here. First thing is, we would like to understand what the community wants in terms of walking track and where they want it to go through. My understanding is we kind of give them the aerial view of the map of Cassler's and ask them to kind of come up with a plan of what they want as a walking track and where they want to go. My understanding is there is some parts of it which are in council land. There's some parts which are in LLS, and some parts of it is managed by Crown Lands. Now, anything within the council land, there is and there's also a possibility of flood in the wet season. Now, with the walking track, any formal walking track would incur costs, as Councillor Burns mentioned, but any informal walking track would also incur costs. There's also going to be some maintenance. There's going to be, I think there's going to be land clearing required. There's going to be, then we can look at dirt tracks and probably put in some gravel to make it a gravel track. But whenever there is a flood event, we need to go back and we need to do maintenance. And clearing is the major cost, land clearing, which is, I think I quoted around 28 to 30 grand just for clearing under the bridge, which is a council maintained area. Now, there's ongoing costs as well, and there's a limited time and resources. So this should be carefully planned. So my suggestion would be to give them an aerial map and, ask the community or ask the CAC on what they want as a walking track and where they want it to start and finish. That's the first point. Now, the second question was regarding the water taps in Merriwa Main Street. Now, there is a redundant system which has a pipe and a few taps, and we predominantly use it for parks and facilities. So just to water the gardens and the street beautification side of things. However, it is unmetered, and I think the particular tap close to the bakery would be around 40 meters in length, and council doesn't have any plans to update the pipe system or install any new taps because it's a redundant system and unmetered, and that will incur more maintenance and more capital costs. So at this point in time, one of our council staff have been there from water and sewer management, and they've shown the customers on where the tap is and how they can access the water. Now, there is also an extreme solution which I wouldn't recommend. There is actually a provision for the pressure water for a fire system, and council does have a truck with a standpipe behind it. which could be used in, let's say if there's a lot of, spillage and a lot of birds which have, kind of pooed on that area and it's very unsafe. We could, use that on one occasion, but that's an extreme, not a recommended suggestion because it's not going to be, able to be done frequently, and it can be a one-off thing, which we will kind of investigate and do if there is, unsafe conditions. But as for the use of water, there's taps available, and the closest one I believe is 40 meters away, and council's happy to provide a long hose if required.
Thank you, Rag. Yeah, look, I'm just wondering whether or not that you could. I think I know where that tap is, because I viewed it earlier today, but I'm just wondering, it just seems a little bit out of the way, really, right at the back of their place. But can we get that hose and deliver to them? I doubt that's not a very big cost. The other thing that I have marked here is the burning of rubbish or removal of rubbish, Cassilis Park area. Do you know anything about that? Could you fill them in on what's happening there, please?
Thank you, Councillor. Through your chair. So in regards to the rubbish, there's actually two different types of rubbish in the park. One is the green waste, which is, lob trees and some, green waste debris. Now there's also some concrete and metal scraps, which we have cleared already from the park. And for the green waste, what we have done is our works coordinator from Merriwa has contacted RFS, the captain, Shane Rollinson, I believe, and have actually got them to burn this green waste as a part of their training and as a part of their burn. So I think it will be done before the fire season. Otherwise, there's a lot of permits that are required to actually do any burning. So I think that's being organized from RFS at this point in time. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, councillors. No more comment. All in favour? Against? Carried. Move over to page 53. It's the Community Advisory Committee of Marundi. Got a mover. Move Councillor Mackenzie. Second. Yep. Councillor Burns. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 57 is the Community Advisory Committee of Scone District. Move Councillor Watts. Second, Councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to page 62, referral of the draft annual financial statement for the year ending 30th of June 2023 for the conduct of an audit. Move Councillor Williamson. Second, Councillor Burns. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 65, an amendment to making the rates for 2023-2024. Recommendation. Got a mover. Move Councillor Williamson. Second, Councillor Burns. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 68 is a request for donations. So there's three parts. We're happy to move them together. Yes, Councillor, move Councillor Campbell. Second, Councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 75. Is proposed fees for Water Management Act approvals. A mover, Councillor Burns. Second, Councillor Williamson. Questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Williamson.
I think this goes out to the community for the next 28 days, and I'd strongly advise anybody who has thoughts on this to discuss with the council in that time period.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. No more comment. Councillor Campbell.
Just one question, Mr. Mayor. We seem to get quite often criticism of not letting people know I'm just wondering when this particular, this is not the only particular item to go out on public consultation. The access to Merriwar, to Casslis, how does that happen? And, you know, I mean, Murrurundi too, the same thing applies. How is there a way in which, in other words, how is this happening now and can it be improved?
Through Mr. Mayor, these proposed fees will be advertised on council's website, social media, and we'll have static displays at our admin centres as well. And that's generally how we place these things on exhibition.
No more
Okay,
comment?
thank you.
All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 78 is the community consultation on de-amalgamation submissions. Councillor Burns, you moving?
I will move, but I won't move the recommendation, Mr. Mayor. I'll move that council note the feedback received and send the results to the Minister for Local Government.
Okay, so it's a small amendment there. We've got a seconder for that. Councillor Williamson? Any questions, comment, discussion around it?
I've got a comment, I'll open the comments, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Burns?
I'm disappointed. We sent out 1,700 letters to ask for feedback. We got 100 and, how many did we get? 141, 92 of which said they don't want to stay. Now that's okay. You don't have to. We're going to send it through to the minister. 1,700 letters were sent out to property owners seeking the feedback. Now, out of that 1,700, if you actually extrapolate that down, the 94 represent less than 10% that were asked directly. The entire Shire could have made a comment on this, and that's 8,000. So that's less than 10%. The further you go down into it, you see that Merriwar doesn't actually want to leave, but anyway, we've got a loud majority, loud minority, sorry. So we'll listen to them. We'll send it through to the minister, and it's his problem now. Out of the support though for leaving the Shire, and this is interesting, Mr. Mayor, you'll like this one, Mr. Mayor. 16 are happy to leave the Shire and increase rates to maintain their services. 17 are happy to leave the Shire, but reduce services so that they don't have to increase their rates. And then 39 are happy to keep their services, not increase their rates, and leave the Shire. Now, they're already being subsidised by $1 million from the rest of the Shire. So I'm asking them right now, where are you going to make your 1 million? And seeing as though the Minns government just put that hatchet to funding for regional New South Wales, where are you going to find the funding to actually maintain your Shire from them? Now, we'll send this through. I'm sure that my colleagues will vote to send it through to the minister. It's his problem now. He will deal with it. But I consider this the end of this absolutely ridiculous notion that Merriwar gets nothing compared to the rest of the Shire. So either get on board with us or get out of the way.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. Any other comment? Councillor Williamson? Councillor Williamson, you got the floor.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. I believe this has been rather a divisive proposal that we've put. And I supported it at the time because I think it's only fair that the people have their say. I consider that, seeing as only what we consider a smaller number, but 2/3 of these replies indicated the community were in favour of de-amalgamation. And as we're voting today, it appears that we should be referring this to the Minister for Local Government. And while I don't believe the proposal of de-amalgamation is a plausible one, for our Western region. I would ask that we ask the Minister to consider the discontent that we see of our Western region and perhaps advise of measures that could be enacted by the Upper Hunter Council to improve confidence through community alignment. I think we've seen a lot of discontent between the Merriwa community, especially the Scone community. We are the Upper Hunter community, and I believe that we can work together to achieve better goals. And I'd like to finish at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. Councillor Campbell, comment?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I come from that area. We came to Merriwa in 1962 and have lived there ever since. We pay increasing rates alongside everybody else that pays consider their rates. But it's very disappointing because out of this, there seems to be this attitude that council has got this big bag of money and I just need some. There out of those, I read all the submissions, disappointing as they were. Most of them are ones that I would have expected anyway, because they just contain such negativity and don't recognise what work has been done, not only in Merriwa, but also in the Shire. And there are certainly some good positive things that have been done. And to keep looking back all the time is not the way to go, and I totally reject that. We are endeavouring to look forward and benefit all of the Shire and Merriwa and Cassilis too. Probably one of the worst things that I think came out of that was the fact that nobody looked at why amalgamations took place. It's the rating base. Can you supply the services that are required for an ongoing Shire out of your rating base? Because governments will not give councils money to run their administration. You can trim it as much as you like and get down to a certain level, but in the end, you have still got to supply that service. And if you haven't got that rating base, then it will fail. And that's why I'm disappointed. 54% of the rates come from the country people, farmland. That's how it's been all along. Okay, we accept that, but how are we going to increase our rates in order to make this work? And I suggest that not enough work has been done to actually endeavour to find out how much it's going to cost to run a separate Shire. And I don't support the findings. I think Councillor Burns has explained all that. But yes, I agree that if this is what the minority people that live in the old Merriwa Shire want to de-amalgamate, well, let the Minister have a look at it.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. No more comments. Councillor Watts.
I'd just like to say that council have asked the community. It was a very, very poor response, but council did give the western part of the Shire a voice. That's a voice that they didn't take up in numbers. However, the Minister is coming to the Upper Hunter, and I would encourage the Mayor to discuss these numbers and this issue with the Minister when he arrives, and let the Minister make the decisions on what should happen, and whether that is that the Merriwa Shire becomes what it was before, or whether it continues under the Upper Hunter Shire banner. But I think this needs to be put to rest. And now that we have given them the opportunity to speak, I think that if we need to continue and we are as one, we need to have to show that we are one working together.
Thank you, Councillor Watts. So councillors, the recommendation I'll just read out something a bit, that council note the feedback received and forward the results to the Minister for Local Government and the local member. So councillor Burns and councillor Williamson, are you happy to take the local member out?
You never had it in the first place.
Oh, I thought we did.
I'll speak to that because I have the right of reply now. So the reason we're not putting the local member on there, Mr. Mayor, is the local member's doing a fantastic job actually doing his job. The minister has a responsibility for local government. We don't need people ringing Mr. Lazel's office every 10 minutes, finding out when they're getting their boundary back. So I haven't moved that way. I'm sure he will be aware of it anyway, being an astute member as he is, but there's no need for him to receive these figures.
Thank you, councillor Burns, and yes, councillor Watts, I will certainly be talking to the minister when he visits our shire. No more comment? All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Over to go to page 83 is the annual presentation of Scone Neighbourhood Research Centre. The recommendation the council receive the presentation, which we have. Resource, what did I say? Neighbourhood Resource Centre. Okay, we've got a mover, councillor McKenzie, second councillor Clout. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? Carried. I know what your comment would have been. Lee? Can I have more? Over to page 86, which is the policy, the public interest in disclosures. Move councillor Watts, second councillor Williamson. Questions, comment, discussion around it. Councillor Williamson.
I'll just quickly, we have a lot of policies come through. I'd like to commend the council's prompt action in maintaining all these current New South Wales policies that keep popping up. And this particular one here is important and in the past would be very relevant in the Merriwa area. And it is said that it will help foster a speak up culture within council. And let's hope that it does, especially with major projects going forward.
Thank you, councillor Williamson. No more comment, questions, all in favour? Against? Carried. Councillors, the late report you have there with the Australia Day Awards, the category eligibility. Got a mover? Move councillor Clout. Second, councillor Campbell. Now, any comment?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with those, and in fact, I just note that the moving to the sustainability and in environmental achievement award, Merriwa, and you say it's only got one. Hang on, there's a lot of people out there who support that, but they don't. It's just a mentality they've got. Farmers don't like saying, "Look what I've done," competing it to their neighbour. So there are a lot of other people there, and also it was very difficult to deciphering just which one was sustainability in business and sustainability in the environment. Farming is a business. It's not just a way of life, and so I think that's been a good thing. I did notice too that there was probably a typo error that in the original one there that Scone got a particular tick when it was actually in the original one the sustainability in business environmental achievement, it was actually Merriwa that got that, but who cares? I support the new format and look forward to what's happening, what we can do in Merriwa again.
Thank you, councillor Campbell. Councillor Clout.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to clarify that this means we are still having the awards day in Merriwa and we are still having another one for the rest of the Shire. So before anyone gets concerned that Merriwa's lost its awards day, it hasn't.
Thanks for that.
Mr. Jam.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, through you, Mr. Mayor. That's correct. We're not changing the awards ceremonies. The actual events will still occur in Merriwa and at one of the three locations in either Aberdeen, Scone or Murrundi. This is about is, I guess, rationalising the actual categories so that we have some greater competition amongst the categories.
I just have a comment, Mr. Mayor,
Comment,
on
Councillor
that.
Burns.
And this goes to the point that we were making a little bit earlier with the amalgamation with Merriwa. We are one shire. We are the Upper Hunter Shire. We are a big shire, but we are one. And this constantly having one thing over there and one thing over here and one thing up there and one thing, we can't keep doing it. It's not sustainable. You want to look at the figures, it's costing money. It's costing roads. It's costing meters on roads, Mr. Mayor. That's the problem. And then we have to come back and fill out reports and put staff time into issues around making sure that everyone's happy in one part of the shire and so that they don't get discouraged in another part of the shire. We all have to be one. We've got three parts of it going. I think the fourth has to come in and actually be part of the rest of the shire.
Okay, councillor, I think we getting off the page a bit. The recommendations just to councillor Watts. Or was this to the recommendation? Yep.
Stating something like everybody else has stated. Australia Day is an important day and one when we get to recognise the work of local people. It is a shame we don't get the numbers that of nominations, but I hope that will turn around in the future by some chance. I mean, I know the amount of work that staff put into it to get those numbers, and unfortunately it just doesn't happen. However, this has been raised. I think this is the third time that it's come up. And it's a time when I think we do need to all come together. However, that is not the case. So I'm happy to move and proceed with the format. I think it is a very worthy event and one we need to just continue on no matter what format we end up in.
Thank you, councillor Watts. Okay, no more comment?
Yeah,
You've
I-
commented once. Have you spoke?
I have
to this?
spoken once. Have I spoken once?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, councillor Campbell. All in favour? Against? Motion is carried. Okay, councillors, can someone like to move us into closed council, please? Move councillor Clout, second councillor Campbell. All in favour? Against? Carried.